and Colin were now firmly in place as the top two seeds, with Coffee in first because he had the higher non-max score. And the third max out of the qualifying period proved to be incredibly elusive. Blank came close with over 900,000 on level 28, but had the board spiral out of control.
Oh man. Oh man, one off?
Right after Blank and Coffee's one-offs, Sodium had another game where he came so close on level 28, but was one Tetris short when the level 29 kill screen did him in.
Oh no. Hey. So close, Sodium.
As it turns out, another player, Superminds, would get the third max out, right before I turned on my camera to record.
Nice, Max. Oh, congratulations.
Coffee almost got his second max out of the day right afterwards, but with just one Tetris to go, he hung a line piece on level 28 with the Tetris well set up.
Oh, 220 difference between the two top.
Oh my gosh, so close.
Supermind's highest non-max score was 200 points higher than Coffee's, meaning he was still the number one seed. Meanwhile, even though I was able to play much better on level 19 than I had been at previous events, I kept struggling with low transition scores due to messy 18 games and hadn't yet improved my score.
Somehow I am still miraculously in the brackets, but I don't expect it to last long. Still trying for a 600K. It's nice. There's enough stations that the line really isn't too long. It's only about a couple minute wait. You can watch games as you wait.
One of the coolest things about the event was getting to see players I had never seen before, such as this very young competitor that was catching everyone's attention.
So the third Artiga brother. The third Artiga brother? When did you first get into NES Tetris? A month or two ago. Fine, it looks like you already know what you're doing.
I think it's actually 214,000.
214,000, that's awesome. What was the video that you originally found NES Tetris through?
I'm pretty sure it was the 2018 that I just kind of followed you for a long time. Remember what I'm doing.
That's fantastic. That's awesome.
Is this your first tournament you've been to?
It's my first, actually.
This is, I heard it's in South Carolina, I just had to go. And I'm really happy to be here. I've got like a 460, but I'm just enjoying it.
Yeah, it's super fun just to be able to play and be next to everybody else.
Oh yeah, of course.
See Max us next year. It's like, oh shoot.
One of the big questions was when Ruins, the roller, would get a max out, as he had by far the fastest piece movement of anyone there. And soon enough, that question would be answered.
There it is, first roller Max.
Ruins got the fourth max out of the day, and even showed off a little bit the ability for him to move pieces around past level 29 far faster than any Hyper Tapper could.
Nice job.
The battle for the number one seed was suddenly turned on its head when Sodium Overdose got two max outs in rapid succession off camera, vaulting himself to the top spot. The max outers were all pretty much safely in the bracket now and took a break to eat lunch. But for the rest of us that couldn't reliably max out, there was no time to rest. I finally managed to break 600,000 and was gunning for more, but in a moment of panic, I tried to put a line piece 7 rows high on the left, which was impossible with normal DAS. That one mistake effectively ended the game.
Shoot.
That's a qualifying PBA.
So close to getting back in the bracket. Needed a few more Tetrises on the final levels. Just couldn't do it. But it's the best qualifying score I've ever gotten in person, so I'll take it for now.
I watched as Storm and Norman slowly gutted out a low 700,000 into level 27, a score that could make the difference between qualifying and missing the cut.
The bubble's up to 724,000. Actually, if that's you, right?
Yeah, that's me.
All right, you're on the bubble.
We're duking it out right now.
I know. Well, I'll be happy to see you play it if you end up being the final seed.
I'll be happy to see you play if you make it so.
All right, yeah.
I'm happy just to be here.
Yeah, absolutely.
Refusing to take any shortcuts, Una had been doing level 18 starts all day, just like the pros. But things just hadn't been panning out for her to get high scores. She managed to increase her qualifying score to 349,000 on a game on the live stream, but with the cutoff now well above her personal best, she decided to call it there and rest her legs from standing all day in line. It was now 3 p.m., and with just an hour left in qualifying, the pressure was on for everyone to get in their final scores.
Sodium got a max before qualifying even started. He has 3 so far, and he is still playing. He really wants the number 1 seed.
All right, this has gotten significantly tougher to get in. I don't think I'm going to make it at this point. I have like
1 or 2 games left.
In what seems likely to be my final game, again, I got into a hole with a low transition pace. Unfortunately, the end of this game game wasn't recorded, but I remember giving it my all past the transition, and it ended up being my best game of the day, but it still wasn't enough.
640, 200, a level 28, I'll take it. Shit, I needed to basically go perfect those last couple levels to get in, but I mean, still beats my score the last minute, so I mean, if I'm improving throughout the day, I'll take it.
Waiting in line. There's 1 minute left until they cut us off.
Yeah, there's too many people still at level 18.
That's time. It's 4 o'clock. We can finish these games, and that's it.
All right, that's the end.
With the cutoff announced, only the people still playing on stations could now affect the qualifying scores. One by one, as players topped out, we got closer and closer to the final rankings.
See, somebody max us ahead of everybody else. This game doesn't even make a difference, right?
He's already got. So I guess one person did that too.
It's about making a statement, I guess.
Coffee was the person who had recently gotten a second max to move up to the number 2 seed, which was actually critically important, as Coffee had a higher non-max score than Sodium, and both of them were still playing, meaning there was still a chance Coffee could get the number 1 seed if he maxed out his final game. However, Sodium was in the driver's seat and could guarantee getting the number 1 seed if he just maxed out his own final game, or if Coffee topped out. After getting to 900,000 and seemingly having it in the bag, Sodium got stuck in a dig at the worst possible time.
That's not gonna happen. He's too high up to burn down before kill screen. Unless. Oh.
Now that Sodium had topped out, it all came down to Coffee, the last person still playing. If he could just max out this game, the number 1 seed was hit.
TikTok is a myth that breaks the music. Join TikTok at Lollapalooza. Grab a pack for a chance to win.
The best tech solutions for small businesses with the power to unlock new AI experiences through Intel Core Ultra processors. Lenovo.com. Where to look for the tech you're looking for.
After grinding his way through the entirety of post-transition, Coffee was 1 Tetris away on level 28.
Waiting.
Oh.
Let me see like. One each line.
Oh.
Come on.
At the last possible moment, Coffee had sniped the number 1 seed from Sodium. And in a display of great sportsmanship, Sodium congratulated Coffee and pointed out a particular move he was impressed by.
You're not 25? You know, right. I don't know, it was nasty. It was nasty.
Number 1 seed, Mr. Coffee.
So in the final rankings, I finished 14th, with a score that was at least within my hopes and expectations. Funnily enough, the person right above me on the bubble was Cobalt,